Hello, sweeties. I have 14 of this month's Hella Handmade creation polishes to share with you today. Let's get right to it. So first up is by Danny Viana, Momichi-kan, inspired by Moniji from Fruit Baskets, described as a yellow crelly with sparkling pink aurora shimmer, shown here in 2 coats. The pink aurora shimmer is seen in both sets of lighting, but it does show through more like a gold shimmer when under the lower lighting. Shown here in 1 coat over black. Momichi-kan is $14 with a cap of 100. Another by Danny Viana is Year of the Rabbit, described as a pink to gold magnetic polish with gold iridescent flakes, shown here in 1 coat over Momichi-kan. Dries with texture, so a top coat is needed for a smooth glossy finish. The magnet used is the Arc magnet from Lantern and Wren. The pink shift of the magnetic pigment is what's seen the most in the studio lighting, but the gold takes over under the low lighting. Shown here in 1 coat over black. Year of the Rabbit is $14 with a cap of 100. You can also get both by Danny Viana shades as a duo for $26 with a cap of 100. This month is also by Danny Viana's Encore month, and she brought back Dark Purpose, which is from her Anastasia theme, described as a sheer black base with purple to pink aurora shimmer, shown here in 3 coats. This is meant to be a sheer formula that can be worn alone, but it would also work great as a topper or for a jelly sandwich mani. The purple is the prominent shift under the studio lighting, and the pink is what pops out when under the low lighting. Shown here in 1 coat over black. Dark Purpose is $14 with a cap of 100. Here we have Cuticula's Aurora's Cake, inspired by Dreamlight Valley, described as a crelly base with turquoise, green, and blue large particle shifting shimmer and rose gold metallic flakes. Shown here in 3 coats, it does dry with some texture, so a top coat is needed for a full glossy finish. You can see a bit of the blue shimmer under the studio lighting, but the turquoise green of the shimmer is what stands out under the low lighting. shown here in one coat over black. Aurora's Cake is $13 with no cap. Next is Garden Path Lacquer's Not Yellow Enough, I Think. They are starting a new theme this month inspired by Bridgerton dresses, and the first polish is inspired by Penelope Featherington's emerald green Empire waist dress when she debuts her Season 3 glow up. Described as a shifty green, blue, and teal multi-chrome base, which is accented with black holographic micro glitter and holographic micro flakes. Shown here in 2 coats, you may need 3 if you have a longer free edge. It does dry with some texture, so a top coat is needed for a smooth glossy finish. The bright green of the multi-chrome base very much shows itself in the brighter light, but the bluish tail starts to pop out as well when under the lower lighting. Shown here in 1 coat over black. Not Yellow Enough, I Think, is $13.50 with no cap. Here we have Hearts and Promises. They continue their Scooby-Doo series with Creeper, described as an emerald green base with orange, gold, and red shifting Aurora shimmer. Shown here in 3 coats. You can see a bit of the pinkish red sparkly shimmer in the bright lighting, but the orange and gold is what takes over in the lower lighting. Shown here in 1 coat over black. Creeper is $13 with a cap of 200. Jen and Berries joins HHC for the first time with Wherever I Goddamn Like, inspired by The Expanse. Described as a neon Aegean blue base with aqua, blue, and violet crystal flakes and black flakes with flecks of gold and holographic sparkles. Shown here in 2 coats, you may need 3 if you have a longer free edge. It does dry with some texture, so a top coat is needed for a smooth glossy finish. Under the lower lighting, those flakes really come to life, showing all the different shifts, but especially that blue. Shown here in 1 coat over black. Wherever I Goddamn Like is $13.50 with a cap of 500. Next is Limby Designs Languid Linguini, inspired by Tasteful Nudes, described as a cerulean-based multichrome with peach, gold, and green shifts. Shown here in 3 coats. You can very much see the peachy pink and green of the shifts when in the brighter lighting, but that green really fails to show under the low light. shown here in one coat over black. Languid Linguini is $13 with a cap of $150. Music City Beauty is continuing their Taylor Swift series with Florida, described as a light turquoise base with blue metallic flakes and silver holographic flakes. Shown here in 2 coats, it dries with some texture, so a top coat is needed for a smooth glossy finish. This is one that pretty much looks the same no matter the lighting, but it does become a bit darker under the lower lighting. Shown here in one coat over black. Florida is $13.50 with a cap of $75. This is Night Owl Lacquer's Stop Being a Boob Punch, inspired by Bob's Burgers, described as a mauve crêle with aqua, blue, violet, and magenta multichrome flakes. Shown here in 2 coats, dries with some texture, so a top coat is needed for a smooth glossy finish. The shifts between the multichrome flakes can be seen in both the studio and lower lighting, but the base does become a deeper mauve in the low light. Shown here in one coat over black. Stop Being a Boob Punch is $12 with no cap. In here we have Pampered Polish's Ghostess with the Mostest, inspired by Halloween, described as a clear-based aurora shimmer with iridescent microflakes, black glitter, and neon green glitter. Shown here in 3 coats alone and 1 coat over white. Dries with texture, so a top coat is needed for a smooth glossy finish. You can very much see the green shift of the Aurora shimmer in the brighter lighting, but the pinkish purple is what really pops in the low light. Shown here in 1 coat over black. Ghostess with the Mostest is $13 with no cap. Penelope Luz continues their Goddess of Mythology with Nana. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Described as a great base with purple shimmer and shown here in 2 coats. In the studio lighting, this one has a fuchsia purple look to it, but in the lower lighting, it becomes this gorgeous deep magenta, almost red. shown here in one coat over black. Nana is $13 with a cap of 200. Another from Penelope Luz is Wisdom Goddess, described as a green to blue magnetic with purple microflakes and purple hollow glitters. Shown here in 2 coats, you may need 3 if you have a longer free edge. It does dry with subtle texture, so a top coat is needed for a full glossy finish. The magnet used is the Arc magnet from Lantern and Wren. All the magnetic shifts are visible no matter the lighting, but those purple hollow glitters really pop when under the low light. Shown here in one coat over black. Wisdom Goddess is $13 with a cap of 200. You can also get both Penelope Luz shades as a duo for $25 with a cap of 200. And lastly, we have Rogue Lacquer's Mr. Smee for their Peter Pan series, described as a white curly with red, turquoise, and blue metallic flakes. Shown here in 2 coats, you may need 3 if you have a longer free edge. It dries with some texture, so a top coat is needed for a smooth glossy finish. The turquoise and the blue flakes really pop under the low lighting, and the white base also looks a bit gray. Shown here in one coat over black. Mr. Smee is $12 with no cap. My favorites this month are Penelope Luz with Wisdom Goddess. I really love the magnetic shifts in the dark base, and the bright pinkish red hollow glitters just make it even better. Second is Linby Designs Languid Linguini with that super shifty multi-chrome. I know it wasn't inspired by Beetlejuice, but those green to purple shifts and the super dark base screamed Beetlejuice to me, which if you watch my videos often, you know that I love Beetlejuice. And my third favorite is Garden Path Lacquer's Not Yellow Enough, I think. I love the super sparkly deep green base, and that way the blue shift pops out in the lower lighting. It's just super pretty, and it was a perfect match to its inspiration of Penelope's first dress and her glow up of Season 3 Bridgerton. Let me know your favorites in the comments. All polishes are available August 14th to the 21st at hellahandmadecreations.com. Some of these do have caps, so be sure to grab yours as quickly as possible when the shop goes live. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!